Hello YouTube, this is Sea Blaster, and this is my preview
Just a
of
harmless flower.
all the Season 3 changes. And oh my goodness, there are many more changes than I thought there would be. Welcome to the new HUD. Completely different. It's something to get used to, because I guess I'm used to it being a little bit... I'm not sure if I'm used to the HUD being a little bit darker. I mean, they've got the dark greens and stuff, but like this bright stuff, it just kind of throws me off. I don't know. Not sure if I like it yet. I think it's just something I'll have to get used to. You'll see whenever I rank up an ability, it shows what rank it is down here. All those little boxes are not the same width, so I'm sure that'll be fixed because this is the beta, of course. Here is the new store. It's different when it comes to recommended items. There's the starting items that it recommends. Essential items, which is like your core, I guess. And I'm glad they changed it to Athene's because it is. I'm glad they figured out, hey, it's a good item on her. Your offensive items for the mid game and your defensive items for your final item or such. So that's really cool that they did that. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy boots and a couple health potions. So I'm just playing, well, I'm not playing with any bots. I'm just here to show off items and whatnot. Normally these little boxes would have what hotkey you have in them, but since I smartcast everything, including the items, that is not the case. So yeah, in the items section here, you have all your like essential first tier items, or maybe even goes on. Is this literally everything? Looks like, okay, never mind. That's like every item or something to that extent. Now it's just like if you're looking for something with health and armor, there's all your things with health and armor. You can just click on a single category and it brings up all the health things. Magic resist, all the magic resist things.
Venture off the beaten path.
As you can see, the game still looks and feels the exact same way other than the HUD. Pings look the exact same.
So much more to see.
Trying to think of what else there is to do before getting into items. Oh yeah, my next section will be on, or my next little clip will be on Masteries and Runes. I think Runes they're pretty much the same, but Masteries are completely different. I'll also be going over a bunch of the AP items. Frozen Fist, I haven't even seen before. Deathfire Grasp is different. Leandri's Torment. Guess we'll figure out what the official name for that is. Banner of Command I doubt we'll be getting because it seems like a support pushing item. Maybe TLGNA will like it. But yeah. Alright, Runes, Masteries, and Summoner Spells. Let's take a look at the offense tree really quickly. They've moved Sorcery and Fury to the first tier from the second tier. They moved Blast, which was in the 5th or 4th tier, I cannot remember exactly, moved that to the second tier. We've Mental Force was moved to the 4th tier when it used to be in the 1st tier. Same with the Brute Force, which is attack damage. They added this one, which is grants 10% attack speed for 2 seconds after landing a critical hit. That's pretty interesting. They made Executioner a little bit different. Used to be increased damage by, I believe, 6% when targets were below 40% health. Bumped up the amount of health that was required. Lowered the damage by 1%. Increases damage to turrets by 2.5%, is now in the second tier. I believe it was in the 3rd or 4th. Maybe it was even in the defense tree. I can't remember for sure. Spell Sword deals 5% of your ability power and magic damage to the target on each basic attack. So someone that likes a basic attack but builds ability power would probably like that mastery quite a bit. Let's take a look at the offense tree. They've moved durability to the first tier from, I believe it was in the second tier, like right here or something. They moved the magic resist and armor to the second tier and made it so it goes up to 5 magic resist and armor instead of 3. Perseverance used to be, I believe, in the utility tree. Correct me if I'm wrong, but now, or maybe it didn't exist at all, I can't remember. And it's now here. In the first tier. We have Relentless, reduce the effectiveness of slows. Veteran Scars is still there in the 3rd tier. Safeguard reduces damage taken from turrets by 5%. Juggernaut increases your maximum health by up to 4.5%, I would assume. Reduce the duration of, well, it gives you basically some 15% tenacity with 3 points. That's pretty good. Reduce damage taken from champions by 1. Reduces damage taken by basic attacks from other champions. Grants armor and magic resist, 1 armor and magic resist for each nearby enemy champion. That's pretty interesting. Legendary armor increases bonus armor and magic resist by 1.25%. They have the utility that was down here. You can put 3 points into over here for 1 point. Reduces time spent dead. That's kind of interesting. Reduce damage taken from critical strikes by 5%, and reduces all damage taken from all sources by 3%. Gonna quickly take a sip of water. Good stuff. Okay, so you don't need the mana regen to get the mana mastery. Instead, now you get 3 points in this mana mastery to get Strength of Spirit, which is grants up to 1 health regen per 5 for each 400 mana you possess. I'm going to assume that, okay, it just goes up by 1 health regen per thing, per mastery point. My new favorite mastery is here, Biscuiteer. Start the game with a regenerative biscuit that restores 80 health and 50 mana over 10 seconds. That's awesome. If you have a point in that, you can now get Explorer, which you start the game with a ward that only lasts 60 seconds. But still, that's fairly good. Greed is the same, Wealth is the same, Runic Affinity is the same, Scout is the same. Increases gain, wards gain 25% increased range. I think that's, oh, for the first 3 seconds after placing them. I never noticed that. That's really good. Reduce the cooldown of activated items by 7.5%. That's fairly important because there are a lot of new activatable items, which I will show you later. Pickpocket, every time you basic attack an enemy with a 5-second cooldown, you gain some gold. If you're melee, you gain 5 gold. If you're ranged, you gain 3 gold, because obviously you're going to be attacking them a lot more when you're ranged. Nimble, which is the final mastery now, grants 3% increased movement speed, and to put that into perspective, now the champion started at about a 325 movement speed. What would that be? 3%. 1% of 100 would be 1. So you get 3 for every 100. 9 movement speed, probably about 10 movement speed gained from that. So that's not bad. Like, oh yeah, by the way, if you didn't know, champions now have 25 more movement speed, every single one of them, but basic boots grant 25 less movement speed. So now you're less inclined to go for a boots build because everyone's relatively faster. I think I pretty much covered everything here. I don't think anything else has changed. Yep, that's that. Moving on to runes, we now have the exact same thing. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything here. It is entirely the same. I think they might have rebalanced a couple of them, but that's about it. I think I actually saw nerfs on magic penetration quints, which I thought was kind of weird because nobody was using them. At least from my knowledge, nobody was using them. Summoner spells, you can now use barrier. They've rebalanced some of them to be a little bit better, like Clarity now grants a percentage of mana, which 40%, it's pretty good. But probably still not going to be used. Just go for a mana item if you're mana hungry. Heal now heals for the full amount to a teammate as well, or to all teammates around you. Ignite, I believe, has a longer cooldown. Flash has a longer cooldown. Clairvoyance, now if you hit an area with Clairvoyance, any champions hit, it will reveal them for that 5 seconds. So, see how it says reveals a small area of the map for your team for 5 seconds? If you hit a champion, even if they leave the area where Clairvoyance is, you will still be able to see them for 5 seconds. Small little buff to try to make it a little bit more popular. I don't believe Cleanse has been changed. Exhaust, I believe, is... They did something to it. I can't remember exactly what it is, but they did. And yeah, that's summoner spells. Now I will move into items in the next video. So stay tuned for the next couple hours or so when I'm done editing and all that stuff. There's a lot of editing that I do, so it shouldn't take too long, but I will be doing all the AP caster items, all the mid items, and maybe some of the support items, because some of them kind of go on to AP mids. So stay tuned for that. Perhaps decided to cut my video a little bit short, so I will again say thank you for watching. That's it. Thank you for watching.